welcome. You are on the air with 2 Minute Tip Talk. I am your host, Helena Richardson, CEO and web strategist with Rich Networks. Rich Networks is a web and digital marketing company. You know what? You can learn more about our products and services by visiting our website at www.HRichnetworks.com. So, guys, I'm so excited today. So, my guest today, we do Spotlight Your Business on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. And my special guest today, we met many years ago, and I'm a part of her community. I'm so excited to bring her on, to finally bring her into on my broadcast. Her name is Ginny Robertson, and I know she's founder of On Purpose Women Global Community. And I know a lot of you know her because she's been around for a little while. Ginny connects women all around the world to their gifts and the purpose of each other. She supports women wherever they are in life with opportunities for deep connections. She likes to move visibly. She wants them to move visibly and become more comfortable with playing bigger roles on the planet. So, guys, help me give a huge clap and welcome for Ginny Robertson. Hi, Jenny. How are you today?
I'm great, Helena, and I want you to introduce me every time, everything I do, because you you do it with such great enthusiasm and purpose. It sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. I'm just so excited that you're here today. And I've been following you for a very long time. And I'm just so blessed to be a part of your network and your community of beautiful women that are just blowing up throughout Virginia. So, Jenny, before we get started, just tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Oh, right. Well, I am Ginny Robertson, and 22 years ago, I started an organization that was bringing women together just to network. I called it a networking group, and it really was something different though, because I was getting a little kind of annoyed really going to events and having just a lot of business cards shoved in my face. And I would go home with a lot of business cards and I wouldn't know what to do with them because I didn't know who the people were.
Mhm.
And I would get calls, and this is before the internet. So I would get calls from people that it was nice to meet me and we hadn't met. And so I thought, what's the purpose of meeting 30 or 40 people at a meeting and not connecting with one of them? So I wanted to do it differently. And I had this party at my house. I called it a girlfriend party. I invited all these women I knew just for a social time. They loved it. And I ended up doing 4 of those the next year and watched what was going on. There was something magical happening when women come together. I say when women come together and there aren't any rules about how we're supposed to do it, we
Mhm.
naturally connect authentically. And
Yes,
so I decided, well, wonder what will happen if I take it out of my house and create an organization. And it was born. And the name has morphed into the On Purpose Woman Global Community. And then the magazine that I do came out. I guess I was about 4 years in when I started On Purpose Woman magazine. So everything that I do is about giving women a chance to be seen and heard in greater ways and to be in the spotlight.
absolutely. And we thank you for that. So let's do this just to kind of break the monotonous right now, and then we'll kind of get into some more serious questions. So, what's your favorite funny story that you usually tell to people?
Well, I've got a funny story from my career, my corporate career. My background is in corporate finance. When I left that, I risen to the vice president level. I was starting a brand new job. I was coming in to manage a large department. I pull up, I'm suited up, I've got my look on, I've got my best outfit for the first day. I'm getting out of my car and I look down and I have two different shoes on. Not only do I have two different shoes on, one is black, one is navy, one is open toed with a bow, and
Oh
the
my
other one is like a naturalizer pump. I mean, I must have been, I, I don't know what I was thinking. I'd taken my car to the garage to get it checked that morning. So I was running really kind of late and I wanted to get to work on time. So I thought, oh gosh, I don't have time to go home and get my shoes together. So I used it. I walked in. My my boss came up, brought everybody over and said, introduced me. And I said, well, you may have noticed I've got two different shoes on. And it actually, talk about breaking the ice. I was like, I wanted to be here and meet you all on time, so I didn't go home to change. So this just tells you I'm flawed. And
right.
it was everybody laughed. And so it took that tension. I couldn't have planned it better, actually. But there
Hmm.
was a time when I would have been mortified by that. And I had
Yeah,
done enough work on myself to know that, if this bothers people, then I'm probably in the wrong place, right?
exactly. And you know what? When you started talking about it, it just reminded me of how many hats we wear, right? So those two shoes that you're wearing, were different hats that you may wear, because we oftentimes change up for different venues, right? So
Exactly.
it depends on what shoes or what pair of earrings. We've all done that thing, before, especially if we're getting dressed in the dark and we don't want to wake up family. We'll put a different colored jacket on or a different color pants.
Yep.
And it's just a slew of things that happen to us. So thinking of corporate, how did you transition from corporate to this community of working with women? Do you use some of corporate's um, tactics or tips that you use in corporate to use also with the what you're doing in the community?
I do. And the thing that I most loved about my corporate work was mentoring my staff and managing staff. I love the people piece of that. I also have a background in finance, so I was able to, look at I know what numbers mean. I can read accounting sheets. It's not how I want to spend my day, but if I need to do it, I can. But I really love the people piece. And I didn't start my business right after I left that job. I transitioned into working for a seminar company that I had been a client of, a personal development seminar company. I'd gone through their year-long training program to do their work, and I I left my big job with all the benefits and all the perks and all the stress. And I went to work with a small organization where we helped change people's lives and
Mhm.
loved it. But about 2 years in, they just never got quite the foothold here that they needed. They were a national organization and they left the area. And I married my husband, and I'm like, I can't go back to that other job. I can't go back to that work. For one thing, in that kind of industry, you're a dinosaur after about 3 weeks, if you're not keeping
Mhm.
up with everything. But I knew I couldn't. I knew my soul couldn't. So I had some time. He just said, take some time and figure some things out. And I started doing some of my own workshops and um, got a job with the Whole Life Expo. It was this big organization that was doing their first event in Baltimore. And the next year, they gave me the contract to put on the event. And so I met all these amazing people, all these amazing women. And that's why I held the party,
Mhm.
because I wanted to bring all these women together. I didn't know that that was networking.
Yes.
To me, networking was showing up in your suit and letting people know that your organization was present. I'd only done the corporate kind of networking. And so
Yeah.
I just saw a need for women wanting to come together and deeply connect about things that mattered, practice speaking about who they are and what they offer, feeling better about who they are and what they offer. And I, I had a business coach at the time who said, "Don't tell anybody I told you this, but you write your business plan as you go, and it works for you."
Mhm.
Because I
Mhm.
did. I didn't have a plan. I just did that next thing, and then
Yeah.
that sounded like a good idea, and I tried something else, and some things worked and some things didn't. But here we are 22 years later, still growing and still, attracting amazing women like you.
Yes, yes. So, speaking of amazing women, and I know that your reach, because I've been in some of our um, broadcasts, I know we're not just in Virginia, but can you tell us some other areas, because we do have online meetings? So, where are some other areas that we've had to come on our broadcast?
Well, we started out as a Maryland organization, and at the time of COVID, there were 12 meetings every month around the state of Maryland, and four of them were being run by other women, and I did eight of them. When
Mhm.
COVID hit, I was also doing two Zoom calls at the time. When COVID hit, I just took everything online. We had the meeting in Richmond going already too that you've attended. That
Yes.
went online as well, and so we're still online in Maryland. Nobody here is clamoring to go back in person. We will at some point go back and have at least a few meetings in person.
Mhm.
Richmond has opened back up. Charlottesville started a meeting, and so, but we've been attracting women. We now have members from, the Netherlands and Germany and California and Louisiana and Texas,
Woo,
and
Louisiana.
just yeah. And so it truly what has become a global community, and I'm really grateful. That's one of the gifts of the pandemic,
Mhm.
is that I was able to keep it going for one thing, because so many businesses weren't able to do that. I was positioned and ready for that pivot that we all talked about,
See.
and also that I get to meet these amazing women. I
Mhm.
wouldn't get to see you much because I go to Richmond maybe once a year,
Mhm.
but I get to see you every time you show up on a Zoom call. And so it's just been really a blessing, and I am having such a good time with it.
Yes, and we all love it, and being able to just to network and to be on the same page. And that's the great thing about some women groups, is the fact that we're all on the same page. We can communicate when in a way that others can't, right? So
Right.
tell me one. Let's hit one more question about strategy. What is your top strategy success? And I know you probably have a lot of them swirling around, but give us one top strategy for success.
Well, this is probably, I'm going to say it's unique to the kind of work that I do, which is all about connection, but it really isn't. Anybody who has clients, for the last 25 years, I have practiced this idea that everyone who crosses my path matters.
Mm,
And I want to be curious. Curiosity is a huge strategy for me. They called it nosy when I was little, but I'm quite curious. I want to know why, not really what you do up front. I want to know why you do it. Why did you choose this? Helena, why did you choose tech? I know you've got a background in it, but what do you most love about it? I love to ask those questions. And
mhm,
so for me to connect on an authentic level, whether I was doing this business or whether I was doing something else, and wanted to make new connections, is to really ask those great questions and let people tell me about them. And often they'll tell me whether or not they need what I have. If we're willing to ask the right questions and listen rather than telling them what I think they need. Oh, I think my group would be great for you. And I haven't even had a conversation with them yet.
mhm,
So
mhm.
that's just, and it's so much easier, isn't it, than to
It is.
try to sell up front and just, and it's so annoying. And so I think that's my biggest strategy, is to have these conversations that matter, and then we can decide if somebody's a fit, or sometimes they'll figure it out on their own just by coming to a meeting. But that's the part of what I do I love the most, is getting to meet and connect with just wonderful women, and I get
Mhm.
to call it work, you know.
Yes, yes. And the great thing about it is the fact that you're able to figure it out. Like you said, we there are so many networking groups out here, from the BNI to the Chesterfield Chambers to, I mean, there's a slew of them. So we it is great that you can come to an event and decide if that's what you want to be a part of. And that's where I am in my life, especially in my seasoned years, right?
Hmm.
you
Oh, you
know
can't be a senior yet, not you.
I'm getting close. But when we, as a business owner, we're so busy trying to find out where we fit. So it's great that we can find a group where we fit. I love a lot of women groups, like I say, because we listen.
Hmm.
And I was a part of a group once, and I remember just being so afraid to get up and speak and stand in front of folks. I didn't realize I was holding my breath the whole time.
Well,
And it was because the women were listening. They weren't casting judgment, or they were helping in so many ways. And I love that. And the community, when you're a part of it, even if you need a ride, you need an extra cup of sugar or what have you, you have the community there for you. And we really love being a part of your community, because anything that we need, we can call on you and ask a question, or call on anyone in the group that can really help us, right?
right. A lot of generous women, a lot of, I don't believe in the idea of competition. I think there's plenty for everyone, and we resonate with who we resonate with.
That's
Not
right.
everyone's going to, and my group isn't for everyone.
That's right.
But I was really clear when I started that I wanted it to be a women's organization, because I've been a member of organizations with women in the name, yet
Hmm.
men attended and joined.
Hmm.
And I don't have anything at all against men. I have a great one next door here in his office. But I also knew that at least back then, some women change when there's a man in the room, and
Yes.
they might shut down a little bit. They might not want to speak up as much, or the topics may be a little more stilted. We may get on something that's a little personal or a little deeper, and
Hmm.
they may hold back, or there could be some triggers there. And so I've held fast to that for 22 years, that it is a women only organization. And that's just, I think, worked out really well, because women know what to expect when they show up.
Yes. Awesome. So, in closing, can you just let our viewers know where we can find you online?
Yes, you can go to my website, which is opwgc.com, and that stands for On Purpose Woman Global Community. So opwgc.com. You can look at our calendar and see when our meetings are. You can
Mhm.
find the Zoom link there. You can also sign up for our email list if you want to be notified about all of our meetings. You can see On Purpose Woman magazine there, great magazine full of all kinds of resources and inspiration for your mind, body, spirit, and business. I also have a very active Facebook group, but I can't give you the URL for that, because it's about this long. But it is the On Purpose Woman Global Community if you want to check us out on Facebook.
Or they can find you, and your website is scrolling here on the bottom of the screen, so they will be
Wonderful.
find you there.
Thank
So
you.
let me close out my audience. Just hold still for a moment, and I'll be right back. Okay.
Hmm.
So, guys, wasn't that wonderful? Listen, reach out to Jenny. She's awesome, and you'll be surprised of the people that are in her group. When I joined the group, I was so surprised all the women that I knew. So, listen, guys, you know what time it is, right? It's time for me to get out of here, right? But I'm so excited that you joined us today. We love helping viewers like you, and I invite you to be a guest on the Spotlight Your Business Products and Tips, or to viewers online right here every Tuesday at 2. How I want to say 2 p.m. I used to be 2 p.m., but I'm 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Looking forward to meeting you guys. You can find out all about the group. I have a page on Facebook. So if you're interested in finding out more, visit us at 2 Minute Tip Talk. And I'll see you soon. So you guys have an awesomely blessed evening. And I'll see you next time. Take care.